And in closing, just another thought, the theme that we're having is being human. And when we talk about being human, we talk about, being more conscious, being more aware, and being more response able. And being response able is a word that I learned from you, in our first conversation when we had in the Nico Hotel, which is no longer the Nico Hotel
Oh, really?
in in KL, 12 years ago. And in closing, you can share with us the importance of being response able with our vibes, and in all the teaching that you shared in terms of how we can help ourselves and share with each other how to be more human, in these challenging times. Because for every positive conversation that we have, we are bombarded with 10,000 negative postings on Facebook and WhatsApp and social media. And because we are being socially isolated right now, a lot of us are more disposed to having negative thoughts, using negative words, and like what you say, self-abuse with words, right? So what can we do during these times of social distancing and stuff like that? How can we develop ourselves to be a bit more resilient emotionally?
Okay, well, as you're talking, two things came up. The first thing was, this is a biggie, and it's the importance of minding your vibration. My declaration is, I mind my own vibration. And what do I mean by that? I'm minding this. I don't want anything in there, because law of attraction doesn't know where the negative vibe came from. So if I'm watching something that I don't like, I'm including it. If I'm around people that don't make me feel good and I don't like, I'm including it. So if I'm minding your business, and now I'm including it. If I'm hearing your problems and your negativity, I cannot not include it. So when I say I mind my vibration, it's a boundary. Do you think anybody calls me to complain about anything? Really? No. They will get a dial tone. I mind my vibration. I am so selfish, Derek. Write this down, everybody. Selfish equals self-care. It is your only job. Your only job is to mind your vibration. Well, your first job is to delete all your negative vibes and learn how to be responsible. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So now I'm sending a positive vibe. And when you send a positive vibe, you know how fast things come to you? Fast. Because there's no negativity blocking the manifestation. So it would make sense for all of us to want to have a nice high vibe. So getting a high vibe is not enough. You have to maintain it and have boundaries. So who are you hanging around with? What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you doing that you don't like doing? What don't you like the taste of and the smell of, and on and on and on. Then the next point that you brought up is responsible, responsible. I'm going to flip them. Able to respond. It is a life skill. You always have the ability to respond. Something, and in all contexts, maybe something happens to us negative. We got you and I have businesses, and somebody says, oh, you know what, I don't need your services anymore. And so what's my ability to respond? Am I going to get ticked off and go to IHateWhenPeopleCancelClients.com and call you and say, oh, Derek, I hate when this happens, and I'm calling you and I'm going online and I'm blasting out on Twitter, and guess what? So your ability to respond, because it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. It's okay to do this, Derek. Oh, I hate when this happens. All right, and do it for how long? A minute. You know what? Go on a little snit for a minute. Get it out of your system. Process it. Don't hold it in. Remember, if you're only having a little negative fit for a little long time, this is your ability, your new ability to respond. How am I going to respond to negative things? How much time am I going to give negative things? How quickly am I going to reset? Now, there could have been a time where now, in other words, in the past, you might have put up with somebody in your life for a long time, for years. And now you can just get a little niggling that your new friend that you're chumming out with, and now it's like, no. So that one lasted for like 3 months. And now even on a first meeting, it's like, no, not a match with them. In other words, when I say selfish, I mean, you're looking after yourself so much that your vibrational meter reader said, no, not a match. No, not a match. And the match is it a match to my vibration? So you're always able to respond. What is your response? What is your ability? Are you going to get ticked off real briefly, or are you going to reset and say, here's what I want instead? That is a daily life tool. And it doesn't mean that I don't get ticked off. I can, but I do it real short, And if you can break dishes, that helps too. Just get it out of the way. Then when you're done, it's like, there, I'm over that. And when you say you're over it, means you didn't, it's not one of these negative emotions that need to be processed.